all the Greek kids who saw DK win last year. There's also a ton of old school athletes, winners like Jason Paul, Corey DeMeyers. These guys coming out here and having to qualify on site against all these newcomers. It was insane to watch.
That's right. It's absolutely incredible. And we are back again here in Santorini. The sun is out. The sky is blue.
Oh,
the temperature is pretty much perfect. Not too cold, not too hot. We've got we'll see them in a couple of shots on your screen soon, but we have got fans dotted all over the village.
Literally risking their lives on rooftops trying to find the best view here.
Only at a free running event could you have that. There's guys on top of the church tower, they're hanging off balconies, and they're here. Now you can, I think in the background you can hear the crowd go wild for last year's champion and local hero, DK. You know his name better than mine.
Dimitris Kyrsanidis. Yeah, he's been traveling all over, just did a tour just to get kids excited. He brought out free runners from each spot that he went to and had them come out to the qualifiers, so you're going to see some of them made it through. And yeah, he's definitely been an inspiration to not only the local Greeks, but the whole world. And it's you can tell by looking at the size of this audience.
It's huge. And there, look at that wonderful view from the top of the course, essentially. You can see everyone dotted about. If we pan round, now you're going to see, there they are. Look at those guys on top of the church tower, ladies and gentlemen. Well, they're all qualified free runners in their own right, so hopefully they'll be safe up there. So there they are. There are our athletes getting ready to go. Now, this contest, it's got a very specific format. There are 18 athletes. We've broken them down into 3 different heats. Okay, this is essentially to make the judging more accurate. From speaking to the judges, it's very hard to judge 18 athletes and pair them off against each other. Whereas when you break it down into 3 individual heats, you can see 3 heats, 6 athletes. Top 2 go through.
Yeah, definitely. This style of competition is helpful for the judges because each one of these athletes brings such unique skills. It's very difficult to judge them against each other because their strengths and weaknesses are so unique to them.
And if you're tuning in and you're unfamiliar with the sport of free running or parkour, you know, it's incredible. We can't stress this enough, how hard it is to judge, because it is essentially free running. You are allowed to do whatever you want. And as you can see on the screen now, this is the graphic for the heat. So we've got 3 heats, 6 athletes in each heat. Top 2 athletes go through to the finals, and there we go. Then we'll crown a winner. Yeah, so we basically have 3 small competitions to get ready for what is the biggest finals in the sport of free running. I mean, you've been here a few times, haven't you, Frosty? How does it feel coming back each year to see the sport? You know, it's not just an event developing, it's the entire sport.
Yeah, and every year this event gets bigger, the athletes get better, and I think the crowd definitely reflects how much they are getting excited about this. Finals competition just between the 4 of them. Sergio out of Spain. This guy has incredible flow, known for his skills, smooth style, and that blue steel look.
Oh, there it was. Steel, there it is. So he'll be judging flow. Then we have Anand Anwar.
Yeah, former child pop star. And,
are you serious?
Now professional free runner.
There we go. He'll be judging creativity, so how they use the course. You know, this is a very, very interesting course, and they want to see them use it in a creative manner. Kai Willis, a legend in the sport.
Yeah, best precisions, most control. And Gabe Nunez from LA, our difficulty judge. He's former world champion himself. He definitely knows how hard his job is going to be judging the difficulty. And then probably the best-looking beard of the whole judging panel, Patrick Morwitz, our head judge.
And actually, after this event, you're going to see a lot of media coming out, and there is a POV view of the course, and that's actually done by Patrick. So as we said...
From his beard's point of view.
From his beard's point of view. So it's a BOV, beard of view. So ladies and gentlemen, those are our judges. They're going to be the ones looking for the individual categories: flow, creativity, difficulty, and execution.
I think we're going to see a lot of different kinds of movements and a lot of different course strategies.
Do you think there's a bit more pressure now? Maybe some of the athletes who've been here before getting a bit used to the old course. I mean, as a free runner, do you thrive off the fact that it's a new environment, or do you prefer, do some of them perhaps prefer that it's a safe environment that they already know?
I do think that this is a more difficult course because of the style. You're going to have to change levels on your own a lot, as opposed to relying on sort of the level changes that were already built in the last one. But a lot of these athletes are really excited about it because it gives them the chance to do some stuff that they haven't been able to do in the old setup.
And for the guys coming in who've never run the old course, it's an equal playing field. Now, if we look on our screen, we have the heat number 1 getting ready to go. We have Eric
Mukhamamedshan?
Yeah, I'm going to hand that name over to you. From Russia, we've got Bob Rees, we've got Alfred Scott, Pedro Foskey, Joann Leroux, and Alexandra. Bye, Trim.
Yeah. So Eric here, one of our top on-site qualifiers.
So here we go, Eric Mukhamedyan getting ready to go from Russia. One of the most hyped athletes here. He was training incredibly hard yesterday. He's very humble. He says in his own information in our athlete pack, he's saying, I do not expect to be in the podium, but you never know. He might surprise himself even.
Yeah, he brings a huge level of difficulty, great execution on really high-level moves. I think it's going to come down to whether or not he can link it together with good flow.
Yeah, here we go. Eric's just incredibly happy to be here. Great to see him here now. Here we go, the first run, Red Bull Art of Motion.
Here it goes. 2015 is about to kick off.
Oh, he's looking for the crowd for support here, Frosty. How much does that play into it? Because you've competed, you know, you want the crowd behind you, don't you? The louder they go, is that the harder he's going to go?
I think that was the closest I've ever seen to Eric smiling.
Yeah, a bit of emotion from the Russian, the stoic Russian now. He's asking for more.
Yeah,
I wish you in Internet Wonderland could offer him the support that he could feel, but here
I wish I could tell him that all the kids at home are screaming for him.
Eric, if you can hear us, they are screaming for you. Here we go. Right, the last bit of warm-up. So from the top of the course here, obviously there is a start to the course, and there he goes. Huge front foot precision at the beginning.
That was so tight. There's a big drop on that one side. Oh, putting in some flow moves. Nice. Doing that pistol cork. Good. Very clean. In some of those breakdance skills he's been working on the last couple of years in training. Oh! Taking that wall flip out of a pimp setup. Really nice. There you go.
Great flow over the first part of the course there.
Pulling out some Pasha-esque moves there. There you go, setting up, investing worm back. Yeah, very clean.
There we go.
Yeah, Eric, calling it a day. Oh, nice. Having some serious fun on the course. That was great to see from Eric. You know, I think for a lot of these athletes who can be really humble, super quiet and stoic, they let their expressions come out, their personality reveals itself in their movement.
There we go, our first run of the day.
Wow, and that was a great one. I am going to say I'm a little surprised he didn't hit more of his signature big tricks, but he had better flow than I've seen in a lot of his other times competing.
Yeah, you were saying to me off air that he's known for coming out and, you know, he'll bust out the big moves, but individually he won't link them together, and here flow is such an important part of the score. So
yeah, but he linked things together really well. We'll see how it balances out, but again, it's always difficult being the first one on the course because the judges don't have anything to push it.
That's it. That's something we talk about quite a lot on these broadcasts. You know, where are the judges going to place? You know, they don't want to go too far in, they don't want to go too less, you know. So here we go, the judges deliberating. Yeah, that's a tough one, especially starting off the day. It's really setting the bar for how this is all going to play out. Let's see. Of course, you'll see all over the course the hashtag Art of Motion. If you want to get involved on social media, if you message us on any form of social media with hashtag Art of Motion with the name of who you think is going to win this event, we have incredible prize packs to be sent out.
Yeah,
so you can get involved.
Yeah, exclusive Red Bull gear for Art of Motion. I didn't even get any of it.
Did you? I saw you with some kind of box yesterday.
I steal it.
Sorry. Right, there they are. They're the judges. Look at the concentration. And also, what's pretty good, we hung out with the judges in that area. Throughout the last 2 days. They got that platform on top of them. It's not exactly the easiest for concentration when the guys are landing on top there.
Yeah, literally, you have athletes flipping down to that ledge from huge drops.
Eric's, look at that, there's the grin.
Yeah, he's feeling good about it, but that's a lot of anticipation, you know, and all these athletes are waiting to see too, because they want to know, okay, what is it?
Here we go.
415 points, putting him both in first place and last place.
I never thought of it like that. There we go. Now, running itself, of course, one of the easiest sports to get into.
Yeah.
Am I right? For you know, mums and dads tuning in, if you think this might be good for your kids, or indeed if you have kids who are showing an interest in it, one of the cheapest things you could ever do. You don't need any equipment per se. You can just go out and especially you can see through the diversity of the international field we got here. We've got guys brought together from Latvia, Russia. We've got judges from Thailand. We've got guys from the US, from Europe, brought together by this one genre of extreme sport.
Yeah. From the U.S. right here, we've got Bob Neese. He's one of my favorites to make it through the finals. I think he had one of my favorite online submissions. Didn't quite get him through, so he came here and qualified on site.
We had 86 athletes battling it out for, 6 places.
Yes, one of the most insane qualifiers we've ever had. All right, it looks like he's getting set up here. Hasn't started his run yet.
So he gave his shoes a little brush. How is it important to get maximum grip?
I think the big, oh, nice, using that doorway. That's going to give him points for the creativity on course use. Good. Super clean. Bob's got a really good style where he can hit some stuff. I know he had some really big moves planned, but it always comes down.
He's got a partner.
Oh, 360 dive Kong. One of his signature moves. Really nice. He's covered a lot of ground already. All right, he's calling it a day.
Now, dog in the background, part of creativity?
Yeah,
you know, sideshow?
For him to plan that moment out so he could just hop over the top. Hey, but that's a big part of this sport. You know, it's all about adapting. So say you slip, you set on cleaning your shoes. Sometimes you find a little dusty patch. We are in some of these buildings have 200-year-old stones sticking out of them. You know, you've got to be able to test it out. You've got to be able to trust it, but you've also got to be able to
You could also say some of these buildings had 200-year-old stones because during training we actually did knock down one of the 200-year-old walls, didn't we?
Yeah, you know, some of them weren't meant to stand up to the art of motion.
It's evolution. It's the evolution, of course.
Yeah, and the evolution, of course, literally changing the architecture
exactly.
of it.
There we go. Now it was a fast run.
Yeah,
top to bottom. He had 90 seconds, but he was very quick.
Right. We definitely looked like he was holding back.
Now here we go, ladies and gentlemen. On the screen now, you see the crowd warming it up. We've had our second competitor. We're waiting for the judges' score to come in. There they are deliberating, our international judging panel. Probably the hardest job here.
Yeah, and it's always difficult too because they know what skills Bob has. They've seen his videos, they know how good he is, and then seeing what he applies here, it's always going to be different.
You have to judge on what you're seeing on the day. You have to be able to shut your mouth. Look at Kai there.
Yeah.
You see? Oh, Steele as well. There we go. Patrick just collaborating the scores. Only two athletes in, and Steele is already like, oh my word, I've got the hardest job in the world. And that is the competitors' friends area, I believe.
Yeah.
You've got all the crew up there, a lot of the Tempest crew up there.
Yeah, they sort of grouped together and took over that spot. It's probably one of the best views of the whole course.
In fact, they're sitting right above us, so let's hope there's not too many of them. And here we go, waiting for the scores for Bob Rees.
All right, second place, 351 points. So far, he's on that bubble.
Well, he's on the bubble, but it's not a good position to be in, really, is it?
No, because, of course, we have our third competitor coming up, another American, Alfred Scott.
Safe at least for two more athletes. But yes, our next athlete to go, Mr. Alfred Scott. Now, Frosty, you were telling me you're very excited to see if Alfred can put it all together because he's known for his video parts.
Yes,
and, of course, for those of you, you know, free running is the most watched sport on YouTube. And for those, you know, anyone else who watches it, they know that, you know, the incredible tricks people can do. But when the camera's there, you can turn it off and on. You can try 100 times before you land something.
Absolutely. So he had one of the best submissions online. He has at least a half dozen moves up his sleeve that he can pull at any time that no other human being has ever done. You can see him setting up here. Oh, nice hanging gainer. Nice side flip pre right to that ledge. Here we go. Worm back, but in a really tight spot. Super clean. Strides coming down. No. Oh, seat dash gainer. I've never seen that in competition before. All right, here we go. Oh, nice. Pulling that tunnel out. Here we go. Nice side flip. You can see even on his easier moves like that side flip, he's putting them in places where he's connecting with the environment to show that he has that control. Going right into that palm well. That stuff adds to the difficulty, and his execution was there on pretty much everything except that maybe that one little slip up.
Yeah, just a couple of tiny little slip ups, but overall the difficulty's got to be through the roof on this one.
And the creativity was
exactly.
Great. And I was really surprised.
And you've never seen this before in competition?
No, never seen it. And you look, he brings it all the way around. Nice setup. I mean, you can't. I don't know if you can tell on the screen, but he's so tall. This is like, I think he might be the tallest competitor we have in the competition today. But he's able to just use that height to get the rotation that other people just can't pull through and stuff.
And there were just a couple of tiny little slips there, left, you know, just the odd little motion of his hand, but is that going to be enough to penalize him? You know, as you said, creativity and difficulty have to be through the roof. Do you think the flow was up there as well?
I think that his flow was better than expected, and I think that's going to help him because I think a lot of people were thinking he was not going to be able to string together so many high-level difficulty moves, but I think he did a really good job.
Look at the crowd here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got what looks like grandmas all the way through down to toddlers here. Look at the guys on top of the church tower. coming out for, well, like we said, why wouldn't it? It's the pinnacle of free running events.
Yeah, and this audience that we have here, this is the most free runners I think that have ever been in the audience. You know,
so you're saying amongst the audience there's a lot more core crowd, there's a lot more enthusiasts to free running as opposed to just people who come to see the sunset and they're like, oh, there's something nice happening
I think
here.
You can tell by the precarious seating arrangements that they've made for themselves.
Oh, and it's such a great event to have down here in this iconic location. Now, pressure's on for the judges. Where's it going to be? Do you know what? I'm going to go out on a... I think we're going to see him in first place.
Yeah, I could definitely see him taking over Eric's just because he had more skills overall and definitely more high-level skills.
And he seemed to use the course just a little bit different, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about last year's or the previous year's courses to this one. You know, it's a lot more side to side or left to right as opposed to top to bottom. So there's a lot more room for kind of going almost back up the course, as it were.
Absolutely. I think we're going to see a lot of different paths that people take, and it's going to create a lot of different types of movement.
There we go. So scores coming in.
First place.
First place, but only by about 2 points, I believe. 417 points for Mr. Alfred Scott, which unfortunately means Bob Rees off the bubble. That is a shame, but that's competition, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go. We've got, yes, 417 points.
2 points, and that, you know, that's the difference. I think, you know, Eric had a cleaner run, but his level of difficulty wasn't there, and that balance, it's hard to always know what it is, but I do think that Alfred had a better run.
All right, so next up, Foskey. Tell us about this young gentleman.
Foskey is one of my favorite people to see move. I think it's just his style. You know, you could see him from a distance, not even be able to see his face, just some baggy sweatpants flowing through, and you would know it's him, just running. So look at him, he's dodging through some camera cables, going up to the highest point on the course. Let's see, it looks like he's going to probably set up something pretty big here. Nice, big pre-drop down, hitting a cork and coming over. Nice, Kong pre, super good control. You can see he's a real little guy, but he can spread that distance out, create a lot of big motion, setting up for something big.
Here we go. Here's the traction we were talking about before. First person down into this area.
Double cork. Spinning out of it, coming into a nice spot. Yeah, Foskey has the ability to hit a lot of really smooth parkour, hitting a ton of good precision and control, and then throwing in those really high-level free-running moves.
Like you said before, his trademark style just coming through, like absolute fluid motion. There he goes.
Yeah.
Side flip above the judges. Here we go.
Right, something big. Oh, big pre, Konging out, coming into something. Let's see. Nice big height drop. Good set. One more move just to show he's still got energy, and that's it for Foskey.
Fit a lot of moves into his 90 seconds there.
Yeah, I do think he's going to get docked for flow. Unfortunately, I think that's usually one of his highest scorers, and I don't know if he was just his shoes were dusty or something, but he seemed like he had to stop a couple times to prep some moves, and that's not his style.
And to those of you unfamiliar with the judging criteria, we are looking for difficulty, execution, so difficult, obviously how difficult the tricks you're doing are, or the moves you're doing. Execution, how well you do, no matter... There you go, a little bit of execution there. Creativity, how well you use this course. And the flow score, which is sometimes where people get a little bit confused. It's how well you flow, literally like water, from the top to the bottom of the course. And he had a couple of stops and starts there, you know, to just clean off his shoes. And that's where the flow score is going to be docked. Is that correct? Am I right there?
Absolutely. You know, it's not just about like putting one move after the other. It's about making one complete movement from top to bottom. And, you know, they call it the art of motion, not the art of hanging out and standing still.
I can't stress it enough. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the Red Bull Art of Motion here from Santorini. We are in Ia, or the new course is in Ia, and we have got people littered over the island, littered over this course, watching the pinnacle of free running events. We are midway, more or less, through the first heat. We've got 2 more heats to come, and then we'll be on to a finals. There's the crowd, there is the course. I'm Henry, and Frosty's with me in the booth.
Yeah, and I'm loving it. We are having, so far, some really, really great runs from all the next. Joann Leroux, one of the big ones, and, Foskey.
400 points there for Foskey into third position. So in top place, we have Alfred Scott with 417. Eric Mukamachin from Russia, 2 points behind in second. In third place, Bob Rees, and down in fourth. Sorry, I got that wrong. Foskey in third, and Bob Rees down in fourth.
Overall, I'd say that score was pretty good. He had some really good moves, but I think he could have made the top 2, maybe not beat Alfred if he had been able to keep his flow all the way through.
Now here we have the Frenchman.
Yes, so Joann Leroux, one of the oldest competitors in this, or at least the most experienced competitor here, 5 times at the Art of Motion in Santorini.
Consistently in the finals.
Yeah, almost every year. He's huge gainer over the gap. Oh my God.
Massive. He must have dropped, what, 15 feet minimum?
Yeah, covering a ton of space with that. Nice. Oh, good. Using those ledges. Joann's one of those athletes not afraid to put himself on the edge of something. He trusts his movement. He knows what he's capable of, and he's willing to put it all out there for his fans.
He's got an incredibly disciplined parkour background in the beginning, so a lot of that risk comes from that, doesn't it?
And he's super strong. You know, he's been training for so long. He knows exactly what he's capable of and exactly how far he can push himself. All right, good spot. Setting up some flow skills here. Trying to get a little bit more points for that creativity. But he is hanging on to this one spot a little bit.
It does seem that he is indeed. However...
Nice back handspring across the gap.
A little bit of a falter there on the execution.
Seems like he's dogging it a little bit now.
He must be exhausted though.
Yeah. I mean, he's hit at least 20 or 30 flips already. That's almost twice all the other competitors.
Here he comes into the finishing area. And there we are, just a little stumbling. I think a well-deserved seat.
Yeah, that was a lot of work from Joann.
We got to see the replay of that starting move.
I don't even know what they're going to show us. There were so many moves to choose from.
You know, if I was thinking, right, I want to start free running, and I tuned into this and just saw that as the first thing, I think not only is that one of the most spectacular things I've ever seen, but I'll be, how does that guy's leg not break or his knees pop, Frosty? How, you know, what are the techniques involved to stop you absolutely maiming yourself?
Well, I think it absolutely just comes down to practice. You know, the more you practice, the better you are, the stronger your body is, and the more you know what you're capable of. And athletes like Joann, they'll spend a whole day just practicing one jump over and over.
And again, sorry, the level of impact.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, this is something that you have to take into consideration, because after this round, he's got a whole other round if he makes it through the finals.
Yes. The flow was looking good. There was a few little points on the execution. So there's the crowd, ladies and gentlemen. He's got the most interesting facial hair here for sure.
Absolutely, definitely.
Without a doubt.
Competing with head judge Patrick Morowitz on
That is true, that is true. Patrick's gone for the more natural style though, I'd say.
Yeah, but who do a lot of the flow skills. Their execution can go down because they're doing more moves. It basically is only giving them more opportunities to make mistakes and lose points in that category.
It's, there's the crowd loving this atmosphere here in Ia in Santorini. Getting ready for more action, but are we going to see Joann Leroux going through? What do you think, Frost? I'm going to put you on the spot now. Yes or no?
I think that he's going to be in third.
You think you're going to be third? You think third? Okay.
But it does depend. You know, how the judges felt about those landings. You know, who stumbled more, who had more difficulty. You know, it's hard to say because he did some really big skills. They were not the hardest skills, but he did them in a really big way.
It almost looked like some of the bigger tricks. The execution was perfect, and there we go.
Wow!
Judges obviously rewarding the risk there.
Yes, absolutely. So pushing him into first place and taking Alfred Scott down into second, taking Eric out of his finals position.
And we have one athlete left.
This is a big one. Last year's third place finalist and sickest trick winner. He's competed twice in Art of Motion Santorini, and both times he podiumed.
However, we did allude to the fact that the wall broke down here. Now, what happened? They had a bar set up there, didn't they, Frosty?
Yeah. Nice side,
I'll let you
down.
take you through his route.
Signature rolls here. But, oh, there you go. Coming with some nice flow skills. Moving really quickly. Oh, nice. I love this style right here. Just having to stumble a little bit, but there you go. Able to connect it with a little bit better flow now. Oh! Amazing.
Creativity.
Through the roof, and that's the kind of personality we love to see from Bite. He may only say 6 or 7 words in a day, but when he gets out there and starts moving, oh no!
Actions speak louder than words, Frosty.
Absolutely.
And what a run.
Yeah, great run. Super fast. Covered a ton of ground really quickly, but had some very unique skills. Definitely some stuff you're not going to see from other people. That head cartwheel was just amazing.
What are we going to call that? Head in a bucket?
Yeah.
Let's call that. Let's coin it. The first one ever. But we were saying before the competition started, we lost part of the course. The wall broke down and we lost the bars. So we see his run, and Bite is known for his bar skills. But do you think it hindered him? It looked like he did amazing. Take us through it again.
Well, yeah, you can see him hitting up some really nice skills coming across the edge, going down the levels, using the gravity to sort of allow him to carry that momentum through.
Here we go.
Telling the camera to watch.
The head in the bucket.
Smooth, and I think it just came out of nowhere. And that's the kind of stuff that surprises the judges. And then, of course, that little slip right at the end, which is really unfortunate because the easiest move he did in the whole thing.
I was just going to say, the easiest move of the day. And I think quite often, concentration levels, he's like...
It's going to be a close one. My last guess was not on point at all. So I'm going to have to wait and see. What do you think?
I mean, purely based on the head in the bucket, I would like to see him in. But I know that you can't do stuff like that. I mean, Flo, I thought, he was fast through the course.
Absolutely.
Each move was linked up, connected with the feature in front of him. He didn't ignore anything. Everything that was there, he used. And then, apart from that tiny little slip, but perhaps the technicality or the difficulty, it wasn't too high.
Yeah, I think it's like it all comes down to seeing what an athlete puts out, because if he wants to be in the finals, he could be holding on to some of his harder moves, but it doesn't look like he's going to get a chance to show any of them.
There we go, fifth place.
386, and so there we have our first two competitors moving on to the finals. It's going to be
Joann
Leroux and Alfred Scott.
Yes, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Well, no surprise with Joann.
Yep, definitely excited to see him back again in the finals. And newcomer Alfred Scott showing us he can put together a solid run on an international competition.
So there are results from heat number 1. Progressing through to our finals here at Red Bull Art of Motion is Joann Leroux with a score of 435 points from France, and Alfred Scott with a score of 417. And you see there the athletes who aren't qualified. Well, there's all there, but the vibe amongst free running. There's no sourpusses there.
I don't think anyone's complaining about being here today.
No,
Santorini is a good spot to be in first, second, or third. But of course, everybody wants to be on that podium spot, and I think that we've got some serious contenders here.
And what can we expect from, we had all the big moves from Joann. Has he held anything back for the finals?
I think he's definitely got some stuff planned, and, he's willing to put it all out.